So welcome back to Decoy Noise. Today we're going to go over an Am I the Antagonist thread of Am I the Antagonist for not wanting to tone down my wedding? So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe down below. We're going to go over some Am I the Antagonist threads, some Ask Reddit threads, just anything that you guys are requesting in the comments below. We do a lot of text-based stuff because this is more of a podcast than anything, but let's just get right into the thread because it's going to be kind of interesting right now. My fiance and I wanted to do something small from the off. What? Small from the off. Okay. We made bookings and placed deposits about 4 months ago. We don't plan on doing anything ridiculous, just a short ceremony, then food and dancing. Guest list is around 60 people, which covers both families, a handful of friends, and plus ones. Very low key, pretty small. I don't think it's extravagant at all. Here's the problem. Last December, so within weeks of us placing deposits and making plans, my sister was left at the altar. Oh no. She found out she wasn't getting married when the groom showed up at the church late, asked her to go into another room with him in full view of everyone already seated, and a few minutes later she left the church while he announced that the wedding was off. Her wedding was significantly larger, with almost everyone part of my guest list was also being included in hers, and while we weren't doing any sort of bridesmaids, groomsmen except for my son as a ring bearer, I was her bridesmaid at the wedding and went after her when the groom finished speaking. I had a phone call with my sister last week, and after about 5 minutes she asked if my wedding is still going ahead. I said, of course it was. Why wouldn't it be? She said, no reason, and then she said she had to go. I called my mom today and asked why I was talking about my wedding with my sister, said I upset her and needed to tone the wedding down. I thought she meant talking about the wedding and responded to that my sister was the one who asked, but then the mum said meant the actual wedding. I asked what that meant, and the mum began to remind me that she and dad got remarried in their work clothes in the registrar's office with 2 witnesses. I said that we will not be doing that. Okay, so this is getting ridiculous. So like, they want her to just have like a courtroom wedding because the other one was on behalf of her sister's feelings? Okay. So, let's read on. She then asked me how I thought it felt for my sister to see me getting married so soon after her wedding day. She wants me to bring it all the way down to me, my husband, my son, and my husband's parents at the registrar's office. When I asked why she and dad weren't listed, she said they'd need to be with my sister. Dude, what? I know this is juvenile, but I told her to put dad on. I then asked him what he thought, and I admit I was fully expecting him to side with me. He then said if we couldn't get our deposits back, he would reimburse us. I said no. He's not paying us a penny because we're not canceling. He said it would be easier for everyone. I said I had to go. Texted my sister saying what they just told me, asking if she actually felt like this, and she confirmed it, and went on to say I was being insensitive and cruel for going ahead with my wedding after what happened with hers, and that our wedding should never have been so close together anyway. My fiance says we shouldn't let her wedding affect ours, and while I do want to be sensitive to her, I kind of agree with him. The plans were made and deposits were placed before my sister's wedding. There was an 11-month gap between them, and while I want her there, I feel like we're going to fairly low key, and it's unfair to expect me and my fiance to shrink it to 5 people at the registrar's office. However, I still have this guilt in the pit of my stomach, and I feel really bad at upsetting my sister. I don't want to lose her over this, but I think she's being unreasonable. So, am I the antagonist? So before we get to the rest of her story or whatever, in typical decoy court fashion, I'm going to pass my judgment, wrong or right or whatever. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong or right, but no, she's totally in the right. Like, everybody expects her to take the hit on behalf of her sister, but why doesn't her sister take the hit on behalf of original poster? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, everybody wants you to, like, you know, be inconvenience for them, but they can never be inconvenience for you. So no, I would actually be on the side of uninvite all of them. Yeah, it's gonna kind of make your wedding bad, but it's like, I don't want any of that negativity in my wedding whatsoever. So you know what, you're not invited unless you can be regular and hang out and just be happy for me on my day because I was willing to be there for your day. Why am I gonna do it for you? So maybe I'm just being unreasonable, but let's read on. Info. To clarify, everything is currently planned for late November, and a few vendors have sent out mass emails assuring clients they'll get what they paid for, even if it means pushing back. And we're not doing any of the extra bits. Bridal shower, engagement party, stag hen do, so it's literally just the wedding day, then it's over. We've also said we're going to reevaluate closer to the time, and we have to push it back. It'll probably be to late November 2021, so we can keep the actual date as it's on a significant date to us. So if it's not a problem, maybe move it back to November 21st, but November 2021. But I don't know. You live your life how you want to live your life or whatever. Yeah, I guess I can't say any more on that without being a jerk. So let's just look at some top comments and then look at some controversial comments. But if you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below on Decoy Noise Podcast. I don't know why I have that. So top post says, not the antagonist. Your sister wants to ruin your dream wedding because she didn't get hers. It's beyond selfish what she and your parents are asking. Yeah, I don't understand why the parents are getting on her side with this. That's kind of ridiculous. Not the antagonist. If OP and sister were pregnant and OP miscarried, would it be okay for her parents to ask her sister to abort because it's not fair when she would be grieving? Nope, same thing. I want to say it's a bit of a stretch, but it's like in the same category. Like, if she bought a new car and then she wrecked it, she can't get another new car. That would be like kind of a better analogy, but let's read on. Yeah, and I bet these parents would be okay with the sister having a new grand wedding if and when the sister gets married again. Yeah, that's one thing. It's like, so do we just keep on punishing everybody else for what the sister's groom had done? Like, okay, you know what? The first wedding sucked and got canceled, so you can't have a second wedding, but if the sister can have a wedding again, well, we know we had to cancel OP's wedding, so let's cancel the next wedding, so no one gets to have anything happy anymore because some asshole did something before. Next post. Not the antagonist. It's sad, but your sister needs to get the F over herself. The world isn't gonna stop for her. She needs to get therapy or whatever because I'm sure it was shocking and deeply upsetting. But that doesn't mean she gets to grieve the loss of her relationship at your expense. If need be, she can sit your wedding out and join the party at the reception. Yeah. Not the antagonist, OP. Enjoy your wedding. Congratulations. I hope it's perfect and everything goes on without a hitch. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect because now that other groom guy, he's ruining 2 weddings, you know? Maybe she needs to sit her down and say that. Like, hey, look, whatever ex-fiance's name, let's just say his name is Tyler. Like, hey, Tyler ruined your wedding. Don't let Tyler ruin my wedding too. And maybe she'll take her side with it, but who knows? We have such a small glimpse into this life right now. So OP replied saying, I'm sure that was upsetting for her too. I tried the therapy angle. She says she doesn't want it and she'll get over it herself. But it's been a few months, and while I don't think she'll ever be totally over it at this stage, she's not gotten even a little better. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for her to get over this, and I understand that it's not gonna be in the next year or so. It's just it'll take time. She's been staying with our parents, called in all her sick days until her work closed recently, not going out. I'm worried she might have depression, but she won't see anyone. Yeah, she's probably depressed right now. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable for her to suffer depression when her entire life her happiest day became her worst day by far. This is not going to be an easy thing for her, but making everybody else suffer for it doesn't seem like the right answer. Next reply. She's leveraging her disappointment to hurt you because she can't hurt her ex. Your parents are enabling her. Keep your dates. Tell them that they have seats if they want them, but if they choose not to come, it'll be their choice. Everyone will know they chose to indulge in your sister's pettiness. Everyone will know that they chose to abandon you. That will be what everyone whispers around, and you'll tell everyone to ask the truth. Okay. As harsh as this may sound, this is probably the right answer right there. Like saying, hey, door's open. You guys can all share my happy day. If you don't want to because you're too sad, that's on you. It's gonna hurt the relationship, but you know what? Maybe sometimes the best time is this is the best time to go on the offensive, which is kind of sad. Next reply. Not the antagonist, not the antagonist, not the antagonist. I'm honestly floored by this. Your sister got left at the altar, now fully expects you to not have your wedding and your wishes and standards, and your family is taking her side? I'm just ... It's okay to be upset, but try to ruin your day is just childish, and her childish emotions are possibly why she got left at the altar to begin with. Just saying. So she's starting to project a little bit, but I mean, maybe this is a little bit has to do with it or whatever, but like I said, in typical Decoy Noise fashion, we're going to go over some of the top comments, and also we have to go over some controversial comments because we got to see what people are saying that maybe aren't the most correct politically things, or maybe just more petty things, but this is the best drama, this is the best thing. So someone got deleted by the user or whatever, but I mean, oh no, people are just deleting their comments or whatever, so we actually can't read it. So the top controversial comment that hasn't been destroyed was, from what you wrote, it sounds like your wedding will be in November. First of all, bold of you to assume okay, see, now they're just kind of bringing everything else in the world right now. We're trying to be on Decoy Noise Podcast to forget the issues. So seriously though, not the antagonist. It's still a relatively fresh wound for her, but November is far enough away that she has time to work on healing that wound and maybe even feel a sense of compassion for you at your wedding. I don't know what that word is. I would say continue planning your wedding, not talk about the details of it with your sister and family, obviously though, and tell your family that you hope they'll feel differently when more time has passed. It also sounds like your sister would benefit from some therapy, help work out the traumatic feelings of betrayal, rejection, sadness, loneliness, etc. All that your fiance caused her. From how you describe her, though, it doesn't sound like she'd take the suggestion well. Okay, I get it. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of like just kind of back and forth in this thing or whatever, but it seems like he had a good sentiment to what he wanted to tell her, but it just kind of got buried with all that other nonsense. Like, I feel like the most controversial comments in this subreddit are always going to be things where they project things from their own life and say like, it happened to me, it's probably happened to you. And I understand that I'm essentially doing the same thing with my podcast, but I'm trying not to be as harsh or whatever about it. But I mean, if you made it this far in the video, you obviously like the content, so please subscribe down below, check out that video over there, but more importantly, comment what other subreddits, what other posts you think I should do, or if you like the format, you like the extra GIFs I'm adding, whatever it may be, just drop a comment down below. It really helps me out, and thanks for dropping by.